G'day guys, 2021 deer rut. I'm specifically on this property chasing fallow bucks. I hope I can get one on the deck. Let's see how we go. So we're doing some glassing this afternoon. We've just peeped out a buck all the way over here, and there's 2 days exactly where we were sitting yesterday, which just had a bit of a laugh about. So we're just going to work on a bit of a game plan now, if we can get over there or not. Those days will probably give us away, but the buck's in the next gully, so fingers crossed. I've got really good visibility down onto this face, around from the bit of a valley that buck was in, but we've been over here for about half an hour. We haven't seen anything and above where he was. There's quite a big saddle there, and we know that there's been a buck croaking on the other side of that. As a matter of fact, that's where I was going to plan to go in the morning. So whether it's the same animal or whether we've just lost him in all this dogwood junk, I don't know. But I'm just going to quietly slip around this track. Might get eyes on him if he starts to croak, but just visual. Yeah, can't see him moving on this opposite face. There's a heap of roos over there, and they're all sort of meandering around and feeding, so the deer should be active, but yeah, no luck on eyes on anyway. I'll just slow up for 5 minutes. I've just bumped all those roos that were on the dam, stampeding up the hill, so let things settle a little bit. On a positive note, I'm not doing too bad on the pigs. The boys have shot 7 between the pair of them today as well, so there's plenty of them about, and they got grunted at by a couple of them as they were walking a creek line. Couldn't see it was too thick, but yeah, there's certainly plenty of them about. How the tides have turned. 1 down, so he doesn't look like a bad buck. Let's go and have a look at him. Does it get any better than this? Look at that sunset, guys. Awesome buck. He's on his scrape. That's awesome. I am stoked. It's an absolutely beautiful afternoon. The sun's going down. I've got a fallow buck on the deck. That's been a really well executed hunt. We glassed this guy from probably, I don't know, 800 metres back over there. He's 2 faces across in this gully down underneath where we are. We've moved in, couldn't see him, couldn't hear anything. All the roos came out, and we thought, he's not going to croak. He's gone over into the next basin because there is quite a big saddle up here. My mate's gone back down the other way to have a look down there. There was a buck croaking that way earlier, and I've just continued around, and I've just glanced down through this timber. I'm pretty sure I got the shot on footage. I've hit him front on with 30-06 with a 178 grain ELDX, and it's just absolutely poleaxed him. As you can see, he's a really nice buck. Quite tight in here. He's probably not a hugely old animal. He's probably only 5 at a guess. He's not a fully matured buck in his prime, but as you can tell, absolutely stoked. That's been awesome after the sort of minimal rut hunting last year with COVID. I've been really excited for this trip to come out, and yeah, it's all come together on the second afternoon. So let's continue. I'm up here for another day and a half yet. Early start this morning, and it's cold, really cold. I was certainly zipped up in the sleeping bag last night, so I'm down on this little bit of a saddle. We're just going to have a listen here for a little while and then start moving around. It's a beautiful morning. As you can see behind me, I've got all this mountain mist that's blowing in. It's probably coming up out of the valley underneath where we are as the thermals rise. But on the deer front, really quiet. There was a few bucks that croaked when we pulled up next ridge over in the dark this morning. I've come right down this big valley system. It's a really nice area down in there, great looking country, but just no deer in there. Even the kangaroos were quiet for some reason. So I've pushed right down into this basin, sort of underneath where I could hear that red deer yesterday. Nothing. I had a couple of probably poor attempts at a roar, and yeah, zippo down there. I've just climbed up this next ridge over. As this mist is blown in, there was a buck that started to croak down in there a couple of 100 metres away, but it's pretty hard going to get back over there. So I'm going to leave him alone. It might be an area to come to this afternoon. Talk about poor route selection. I've just decided to contour around that hill I was on, back to the track that I got to walk out on, and this hill I'm on is a nightmare. It's just all sort of long, spindly grass and weeds and all these brick-sized rocks under the grass. I don't know how many times I've nearly rolled my ankles, so certainly glad to have good boots at the moment. Oh, it's been a prick of a climb out of there. Nearly back at the bike now. It's taken me about 40 minutes. It's at this point that I'm really enjoying my choices in carrying a lightweight mountain rifle, and I'm not enjoying my choices in carrying twice as much weight again in camera equipment. One thing I find when I'm away on these multi-day trips is nutrition is really important. If you get that wrong, you just can't keep going day and day again. So for me, I know what works, and it's a highly processed sugar diet. I generally feel like absolute crap when I get home for a few days. I'm sure it's got nothing to do with all the sugar, but it gets the job done while I'm out here. Bloody thistles, they're still here. These are saffron thistles, these ones. They're all dried out and dead, but as you ride over them on the quad bike, they all snap off. Poke you in the fingers because they're dry, they then break and you get all these thorns in there. So it's yeah, it's a lovely feeling to cop that. Rightio, you guys want some simple lunch? Get yourself some white wraps, some coon cheese because I'm not politically correct, maple bacon, avocado dip and fry pan. When you're finished eating and you go to wash up, try some of these sugar soap wipes. Saves getting a bowl of hot water and soap. Pigs. Well, I managed to get this little boar. Bit of a shame, those pigs weren't aware I was here. They were just down feeding on the creek line and the wind swelled and they picked straight up on that and headed up the hill. So yeah, I only got the one before they got up the ridge line. There was a couple of little ones that did poke up there, but I wasn't too worried about them. I was looking for Mum or this guy. It's been a good afternoon up in here. I've bumped 3 mobs of pigs. I only got one shot off. Probably because I was too busy mucking around with the camera filming those other little ones in the creek, but anyway, that's not too bad. That wasn't a big monster. So yeah, I'm just gonna head back. It's really thick down on this creek line. As you can see what I'm walking through now, there's pretty much that to the waterline, and there is an obscene amount of pig sign up in here. Most amount of pig sign I've seen in years and years, which is really promising. So wouldn't be a bad little walk up through here right on dark, or probably more beneficial first thing in the morning. There's a whole heap of big open fields off here, and I'd say they go eat in there and feed at night. So anyway, we'll get back to the bike. I'm going to ride back over to the other side of the property where all the deer seem to be, and we'll see if they're making any noise. They were yeah, closed camp this morning. Have a look at the scratch marks on this tree. There's just pig sign everywhere right up this track, and they've been rubbing and scratching themselves on it. There's little chips out of the bark from their tusks. That's pretty cool. That all unfolded quickly. That brings the pig tally up to 18 so far. I bumped this little mob just under the track that I walked in on before. I don't know if they have just sort of fed out from cover. There's another one laying in a whole heap of spiky crap behind me. Certainly warmed the barrel up on the 3006, ploughing into those blokes at close range. So yeah, I'll keep going. We'll get back to the quad over the other side of the property, back onto the deer. Just come down this bit of a spur fence line. It's where we were glassing yesterday, and I'm overlooking that scrape that I was at yesterday morning, and there's 4 deer down there now. It's about 312 metres away, and there's another 2 coming through the dogwood about 150 metres behind them. No bucks, but it's certainly worth probably sitting up here. As you can probably tell by the glare in my eye, the sun's quite low. It's probably about an hour and a bit off dark, so I think I might just perch myself up here this afternoon. I'm getting a bit weary. I've tried to have a sleep today and couldn't, so I've been wandering around a fair bit. That walk this afternoon shooting those pigs didn't help. Yeah, so we will just see what comes out this afternoon. Maybe something will start croaking again. Another little visitor coming in around this scrape now. This looks like it's by itself, this one. This little fawn out in the sunlight. Mum's off to the right in the dogwood. I'd say it's out there warming itself up before the cold night. They don't do as well as the more mature animals. There might not be any deer coming out to play, but this is pretty nice. What do you reckon? I just got eyes on a buck. He's come out on that little bit of a face up there. So it's about 402 metres over there. If he comes back out on there, he's in big trouble. But unless he wants to come all the way down to that scrape, I'm assuming it's the same animal. What a bugger. I've just glassed that buck. He's come out. I've had enough time to range the timber where he's at. And he's turned around, one little snort, and he's gone straight back into the scrub. So I'd say it's the animal that's got the scrape down here, because it's on the exact same spur. It's probably about 100 metres above it. So I'm just going to keep glassing this little clearing, and fingers crossed he comes out. One deer's just come out over here. We might be on. No luck on that buck. An animal did come back out, then they went back into the timber, so he's just in a real funny spot. It's probably a wise old fella. Anyway, look at that sunset. There's certainly worse things to be doing than this. Righto guys, 18 pigs and a good fallow buck, a fox, a couple of hares, not too bad. I've just spoken to my wife. She's not very well. Either's my 5-year-old little boy. So family first. I'm going to cut the trip short and head home. If you did like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, have a look at my Patreon, and I'll see everyone next time.